Have you ever wondered if certain connections in our lives are meant to complete a spiritual journey that spans beyond linear time? What if some relationships aren't just random encounters, but carefully orchestrated reunions designed to facilitate profound soul evolution? The remarkable journey of Jennifer and Ben Affleck represents one of the most fascinating relationship patterns in modern celebrity culture. A love story that defied conventional timelines and revealed the mysterious workings of what many spiritual traditions call divine timing. What captivates me about their journey isn't just the Hollywood glamour or their undeniable chemistry, but how their relationship demonstrates profound spiritual principles about soul contracts, karmic completions, and the sacred spirit spiral nature of authentic connection. Their story, from their initial intense connection in the early 2000s through their painful separation, individual growth journeys, and eventual reunion nearly 2 decades later, offers a powerful template for understanding how certain relationships are designed to facilitate our highest evolution through both connection and separation. Today, we're exploring how Jennifer and Ben's relationship illuminates deeper truths about twin flame dynamics, spiritual timing, and the sacred purpose behind relationships that seem to transcend ordinary patterns of connection. If you find value in these deeper perspectives on human connection, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your engagement helps this content reach others seeking to understand the spiritual dimensions of our most significant relationships. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's relationship follows a classic pattern that spiritual traditions have long recognized as the twin flame journey, a soul connection designed to facilitate profound transformation through three distinct phases: initial recognition, necessary separation, and eventual reunion. Their story began in 2002 on the set of Giggly, with what both described as an immediate, almost overwhelming recognition. This wasn't just the physical attraction or compatibility, but what Jennifer later described as feeling like I had known him my whole life. This immediate recognition represents the first stage of the twin flame pattern, the soul's recognition of a counterpart with whom it shares a profound evolutionary purpose. What makes their pattern spiritually significant is how it diverged from conventional relationship timelines. Despite their intense connection and engagement, they experienced a painful separation in 2004, a separation that seemed to contradict the depth of their bond. This separation wasn't a failure, but a necessary second phase of their spiritual journey together. The twin flame pattern suggests that certain connections are so catalytic and transformational that they require a separation period for both individuals to complete essential personal growth before reunion becomes possible. Jennifer and Ben's 17-year separation wasn't a detour from their path together, but an integral part of it, a period where both needed to evolve individually before they could fulfill their shared purpose. Their 2021 reunion completes this second or sacred spiral, returning them to each other not as the same people who separated, but as an evolved versions who had completed necessary individual journeys. This pattern invites us to reconsider our own significant relationships. Perhaps those intense connections that didn't last weren't failures, but necessary catalysts for growth that may yet complete their full pattern in divine timing. The most fascinating aspect of Jennifer and Ben's relationship is how their 17-year separation served as a period of essential karmic completion and individual soul evolution that made their reunion not just possible, but necessary. During their time apart, both experienced significant relationships that provided crucial lessons and healing. Jennifer navigated marriages with Mark Anthony and her relationship with Alex Rodriguez, while Ben's marriage to Jennifer Gardner and his subsequent relationships offered their own profound teachings. These weren't detours from their connection, but necessary chapters in their individual soul stories. What's remarkable is how both have spoken about needing to become different people before finding their way back to each other. Jennifer has shared how she needed to learn to be whole on her own, rather than seeking completion through relationships. Ben has been transparent about his journey through addiction and recovery, finding a more authentic version of himself. These parallel journeys of self-discovery weren't coincidental, but energetically connected to their eventual reunion. This pattern of separation for individual growth reflects a profound spiritual principle that our most significant relationships often require us to complete certain soul lessons before we can fully show up for their highest purpose. Their story suggests that time in itself is a sacred element in relationships, that not now doesn't mean not ever, but rather not until certain soul conditions have been met. Their journey invites us to view our own relationship histories through this lens of karmic completion and soul evolution. Perhaps those connections that seemed to arrive at the wrong time were perfectly timed to catalyze necessary growth, with the full pattern of the relationship still unfolding according to a higher timeline than our limited perspective can perceive. Jennifer and Ben's relationship has consistently served as a powerful mirror for both collective consciousness, reflecting back our cultural projections about love, timing, and the possibility of romantic redemption. During their first union as Bennifer in the early 2000s, they became the targets of intense media scrutiny and often crucial or cruel public judgment. This wasn't just celebrity gossip, but a projection of collective shadows around fame, authenticity, and in relationship visibility. The intensity of this projection contributed to the pressures that led to their separation. What makes this aspect of their journey spiritually significant is how differently the collective responded to their reunion nearly 2 decades later. The same relationship that once triggered cynicism was now celebrated as a hopeful testament to the possibility of second chances. This shift doesn't just reflect changing attitudes towards them as individuals, but as an evolution in our collective consciousness around love, timing, and relationship patterns. Their journey demonstrates how certain relationships serve a purpose beyond the individuals involved. They become archetypal stories that help our collective consciousness process and evolve its understanding of connection. By weathering both public criticism and celebration, Jennifer and Ben have held space for a collective conversation about whether true love can transcend time and circumstance. The most profound aspect of this pattern is how their reunion came as a cultural moment when many were questioning whether lasting love is even possible. Their story arrived as a counterpart or counterpoint to growing collective cynicism, offering a living example that some connections are designed to complete their patterns regardless of how impossible reunion might seem from a limited perspective. The newest dimension of Jennifer and Ben's relationship reveals perhaps its most profound spiritual purpose, how their reunion has served as a catalyst for both unprecedented creative expression and authentic self-revelation for both. Since their reunion, we've witnessed Jennifer creating some of her most vulnerable and autobiographical work, from her documentary Halftime to her album and film project This Is Me Now, which directly explores her journey back to Ben. This isn't just artistic inspiration, but a form of spiritual integration, using creative expression to make meaning of a soul journey that transcends ordinary relationship patterns. Similarly, Ben has entered a new phase of authentic creative expression, directing and appearing in projects that reflect a deeper commitment to meaningful storytelling. Their creative renaissance isn't coincidental to their reunion, but directly connected to their spiritual integration their relationship has facilitated. What makes this pattern spiritually significant is how it demonstrates that authentic soul connections serve as catalysts for our highest creative expression. When we reunite with connections that reflect our truest selves, we often experience an unlocking of creative energy and authentic voice that was previously inaccessible. Their journey suggests that certain relationships aren't just about companionship or romantic fulfillment, but serve as sacred containers for the expression of our highest purpose and most authentic creative gifts. The timing of their reunion wasn't just about personal readiness, but aligned with a moment when both were prepared to channel their connection into meaningful creation and contribution. This dimension of their relationship invites us to consider our own significant connections through this lens. How might our most profound relationships be designed not just for personal happiness, but as catalysts for the creative expressions and contributions we're here to make? Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's extraordinary journey offers us far more than celebrity fascination. It provides a powerful template for understanding the sacred spiral nature of our most significant soul connections. Their evolution from initial recognition through necessary separation to eventual reunion reminds us that divine timing operates according to the needs of soul evolution rather than our limited human timelines. This story invites us to trust that certain connections that seem interrupted may actually be unfolding in perfect spiritual order. As we reflect on their relationship, we're invited to consider our own connections through this lens of soul contracts and divine timing. Which relationships in your life have followed unexpected patterns that might reveal deeper spiritual purposes? How might separations you've experienced be serving necessary soul evolution rather than representing failure? What connections might yet complete their full pattern in ways you cannot currently imagine? If this explanation resonated with you, please hit that like and subscribe button to join our community of consciousness explorers. Share your thoughts in the comments below about how Jennifer and Ben's journey reflects patterns you've observed in your own relationships or in other public partnerships. Until next time, remember that our most significant relationships often follows sacred spirals rather than linear paths, and that time in itself might be or may be one of the most profound spiritual teachers in our journey of connection. Stay conscious, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.